Welcome, everybody. John Zegar. Good afternoon. Actually, it's evening, isn't it? 5:23. Eastern Slope over in Colorado. Temperatures in the low 40s. Cloudy, overcast. Supposed to start raining about 6 o'clock. Rain all through the evening, all tonight, all tomorrow. And it looks like there's 4 days of rain. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I just looked at the weather report, and it shows for each day rain. So I don't know. It's going to rain from now until at least tomorrow at this time. And I would guess it'll probably keep going after that. It's springtime. It's supposed to be raining. I have a cup of hot turmeric and green tea. Turmeric root. My joints are a little sore. Went back this morning and did some lifting again. We have one, two. We actually have 3 facilities that are all owned jointly, and they all have weight rooms, and they're under maintenance, yearly maintenance. So the past couple weeks, actually there's one more week coming up, the gym that I normally use was last week. It wasn't available, so I had to come over to this one. And you know how that goes. You kind of have to jump around based on which ones are available. But anyway, I'm a little sore. Planning to get back into regular routine of lifting again. Today I didn't do so well. I only did 295 on my bench. And I've struggled. So back tomorrow, I'll probably go to 2 1/4 on my bench and just do reps. I'll try to do 3 sets of 6, or maybe 5 sets of 3. I'm not sure, but probably something along that line. I'm not going to go above the 2 1/4. I just want to get back into doing reps for a while to get the muscles back reacquainted with weight. So the turmeric is certainly needed. It was my last turmeric root. I'll stop at the store tomorrow and pick up another. They come in a kind of a little box, plastic box with maybe a dozen in them for... What was this one? This one was $3.99. But they do the job. They take away all the aches and the pains. If you don't know anything about turmeric root, it's medicinal, and it has all kinds of medical advantages, I guess. It does a lot of different things. And for me in particular, I mean, there's very specific things that it does, and it's cheaper than taking pharmaceutical drugs and safer. So, anyway. What else? I got up this morning, 1:30, and I did a podcast at 2:20 or something. I did go back and listen to it, and it didn't, for being half asleep, it didn't turn out all that bad. My apologies. My kitchen table here squeaks, so I'm not going to be putting my arms on the table, because if you listen, hear that squeak? It squeaks, and it isn't real solid, so I won't bore you guys with that, and I'll keep my arms off of the table so you don't hear it. And also, last night the furnace went on. I didn't expect that to happen. My apologies there. The furnace is not turned on right now. It will not be a distraction. I'm still trying to get YouTube up and running. I used to do YouTube where, you do videos where you can actually see yourself talking or doing whatever you're doing. And I've gotten so accustomed to just doing these podcasts that, I don't know, I just keep it simple and do this. But I'm going to try to switch over or add YouTube videos to these Spreaker podcasts. You guys all know that all my stuff is on iHeartRadio, I hope. I've said that in the past. Maybe it's been a while since I've said it. But you can go over to iHeartRadio and just look up John Zegar, and you can listen to all of my shows. And actually, they start, if you hit that subscribe thing, gosh darn, God, I get so tired of people saying that. But if you hit that subscribe thing, then iHeartRadio will send you a new podcast whenever they come up, which is every day or two, if you have an interest in that kind of thing. So, and Spreaker.com, you can go there. That's a real popular area for podcasts. A lot of people do their podcasts on Spreaker. You can get it. And actually, all my podcasts are on YouTube, just without, the video of me. It's just what you're hearing right now. And they're all labeled and dated and categorized, and you just pick whatever you want to listen to. Most recent all the way back. I think I'm around 250 shows this go-round. I know I've done more than that in my life, but this current go-around, there's somewhere's around 250. I don't know for sure. They keep changing it. I see they expanded my coverage for me. I really appreciate that. Spotify. And I saw that they downloaded yesterday all 250 shows. So that's a very big podcast channel as well. And they go all around the world. So they now have me, John Zegar, and my podcasts worldwide. And they have all of my episodes on neuroscience. So that was kind of exciting. Maybe we'll pick up a few more people along the way. I like to have a bigger audience. That would be good. I'd really like to have you guys call in or get a hold of me from time to time, just so that we can maybe get you more involved in the podcast. It doesn't have to be me just talking all the time. I wouldn't even mind. I'm thinking of a couple friends of mine that may or may not have an interest. I haven't ever talked to them about it, but maybe having them individually, as a guest. They have very interesting life histories, and it would be really kind of cool. Sorry about that. To just sit down and have an interview, back and forth. about maybe interview about their life and their lifestyle and, all of that in pertaining to neuroscience. I can make the connections as long as they can explain their thing. But they might enjoy that. You guys might enjoy listening to that too. If any of you would like to be interviewed for a podcast, let me know. I try to keep these at 30 minutes or less. I can go longer, but I don't. If I had larger numbers of people listening, then maybe I would expand it all the way out to an hour. But if anybody wants to hop on and be part of the show, get a hold of me. Maybe we can put that together and make it happen. Today, this afternoon, Sunday, 5:33, I kind of wanted to talk about common sense neuroscience. I use that as just a catch-all, and then I have it categorized today under lack. And I want to talk about how we end up in lack. Okay? Now, obviously, I can talk about psychological things, depression or anxiety or that kind of thing, or we can talk about physical kinds of things like cancers and cardiovascular. But this is kind of a life, how would you say it? It's what happens to our lives, how we end up in lack. Lack, obviously, is the opposite of abundance. And abundance is, an individual or person that has belief systems, right, that have no resistance or blocks to money. Pretty simple, right? Opposite that, we have a person who's in lack, who has belief systems that are resistant or they're blocking their acceptance of money. Here's an example, and we'll expand on this, but let's just start off with this. So, for instance, a person in lack may do odd jobs. A person in lack might be a handyman. A person in lack might do yard work for seniors, right? And based on their belief system, okay, that's all of the stuff that parents and adults put in your brain between the ages of your third trimester and age 7. And those belief systems they put in, this doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means it was their belief systems back then, how they viewed people with money. Might be, we don't like people that have a lot of money. They're crooked. They get their money the wrong way. They don't work hard for it. I don't know, some sort of negative connotation they associated with people of money. And it may not be where they sat you down and they say, these are our belief systems about, but rather they are talking amongst themselves. The adults are talking amongst themselves about somebody in the neighborhood or somebody that they know that has a wealth of money, and they're very critical of that person. And you overhear it. that now becomes a belief system for you based on the fact that you're in theta hypnosis, right? Brainwaves. And it just all is being absorbed. You don't get to rationalize that stuff and think it out and be analytical and, that sort of thing, because you're just a little tiny peep. And all that you can do is take in information, beliefs, and then you formulate perceptions based on those things. And that's the program that you live by. What's his name? Robert Karaoke? Robert? I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. But he's on the internet all the time. He's best-selling author with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? And he talks about, everybody knows the book, so I don't even know why I'm saying this, but I'll say it. He talks about the reason you're poor is because he uses dad, okay, in his book, but your dad never taught you about money. What you learned from your dad, because he never had a lot of money, was how to live in lack. And no matter what happens to you as you continue to get older and grow up and be an adult and live your life, you cannot get ahead. You do not get ahead because you don't know how to get ahead financially. You don't know how to make money. You don't know how to generate money. You might be a straight A student in school, but the poorest kid in school or growing up once you get out of school, because you don't know. Nobody ever taught you. School, okay, let's get this straight first of all. School doesn't teach you anything about money. The closest I ever came to that was in high school. They had a bookkeeping class that we had to take. Well, bookkeeping was great, but if you don't know how to make any money, you don't have any money to do bookkeeping with. You guys, this is great tea. And if you're poor, you stay poor. If you're rich dad, you come from rich dad. Rich dad has affluence and lots of money and prosperous and big house and boat and cars and blah, 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 blah. You can be the dumbest kid on the block. You can be the dumbest kid in school. And when you get a little bit older, you just make money. You make tons of money. You don't even know how you make money. But it was instilled in you. It became a belief. It was, you overheard conversations. You watched your dad. You watched your dad and mom. You watched the adults in the neighborhood. Everybody who was affluent and had lots of money. You learned all those beliefs, and that became your program. And it doesn't matter if you walk into walls, you will still make money. So lack. Lack is the same thing. You can have the greatest desire in the world to be prosperous. And here's the example I was going to use a minute ago. Let's say, you're living in meager surroundings. Your truck, your trailer, a garage, an efficiency apartment, barely. You get the idea. And you struggle for money. It's hard to come by. you brainstorm and brainstorm and brainstorm. And you try this, that, and the other thing. And you make meager amounts of money. You have all the right intentions, but you make meager amounts of money. I heard a lady say this to a guy who's in lack. In addition to a job that pays him minimum wage, which you can't live on anyway, he takes on other jobs like mowing grass for seniors or doing handyman work for seniors. And they go to offer him money and he won't take it. Or he discounts his job. Well, you're supposed to get $50. Here's your $50. No. You need it. I don't really have to have that $50. Just give me 20 and you can keep the rest. Right? People that grow up in families, rich dad, poor dad idea, they just have ways to sabotage them getting ahead because of their belief systems that money is bad. And people that have money are bad. Now that's an exaggeration. I don't mean that across the board, but you get the idea. That's kind of where they're coming from. And if you go and read, here we go again, John, quit it. If you go and read the Bible, I don't have the verse in front of me. I can track that down for you guys. But it says, it's in, what is it in? I got my Bible. It says in there that if you're a person of lack or menial resources, meaning you have limited money, you're not supposed to lend. You're not supposed to give. Right? It says it right there in the Bible. Which, when I first came across that some time ago, I was kind of taken back by it. It's you're wanting to be a good guy. You're wanting to be helpful. You're wanting to enhance another person's position financially. And you don't accept money, or you don't accept all the money. Or you work for free. Oh, no, that's okay. I can do that job, and let's just, let me just do it for you, and let's not worry about money. There's people that are in lack that do things for free. Go on the internet and look at those little, I don't know, there's all kinds of different videos about homeless people. And what they do is they do these little skit things to where somebody comes and they see a homeless person sleeping on a bench. This is one in particular. It's always on the internet. You can go find it. And they leave them, I don't know, $300 or $500 or something like that. And the guy wakes up and looks around, because he has this money in his face. And he goes and I think he went to Target. And he bought a bunch of stuff that would be necessary for him to survive. Right? Things that he's never been able to buy. Not wasting his money, just, wow, here's a incredible gift somehow that ended up in my face, and So I'm going to try to get myself ahead. And then the guy comes back who did it just to see the person's reaction and pretends like, I don't know, he has a sister or something that fell sick, and, you know, he and his sister kind of live together and they're trying to help each other out, and he's in dire straits to, you know, get some money for her medicine or something. And the homeless guy says, wait right here. Don't go anywhere. Sit right here on this bench. I'll be right back. And he runs his 2 bags of things that he bought for himself from Target back to Target, turns them all in, exchanges them for the cash, comes back to the bench. The guy's still sitting there, and he says to the guy, listen, here, take this money. Take this money. This will help you and your sister, and it'll get medication for her. Now, of course, that's a wonderful, heartwarming story, right? That's the intent of the whole thing. And God bless the man. It's a real homeless person. And after a while, the guy says, you know, I really don't have a sister, and she's really not sick, and I left you the 500, and I just wanted to see what you would do, and I'm taken back, and I don't really need the $500. Kind of a BS sort of thing to do, but I guess it served a point that homeless people are pretty genuine, straight shooters, you know. And so he gave him, he says, I want to give you the $500. I really don't need it. And because you're such a wonderful person, here, I want you to keep the $500. It'll buy you some food for a while. There's, boy, I can think of 3 other stories real quick. I'm not going to say them, but they're on the internet where other people have done similar kinds of things, right? I wonder what makes turmeric sweet. It's always a little sweet. I think that's kind of interesting. I wonder if I can get the teapot over here. Let me see, you guys. Pour a little bit more in here. But, so we acquire beliefs growing up as little people, and that becomes our program for our life. And maybe it's partly watching your mom and dad struggle financially with the family, the sacrifices they make, where they need money and going to, maybe they went to lending banks or institutions and were turned down and became angry and bitter, and who knows what happened in your life if you are living in lack. But you acquired that through that means. That's how you acquired your life of lack. And no matter how much you want to change that, it doesn't change. And you continue to struggle. And you have dreams and desires, just like everybody else, but they don't materialize. They don't manifest. How do you get through that? How does that happen? Ooh, gosh, we're at 29 minutes. Sorry. So the way that works is, what all the different programs talk about. you need to change who you are. You need to erase, prune apart, the old neuron connections and clusters that have become hardwired, as they say, and you need to put in new belief systems. It's called being reprogramming. You're a computer anyway. I hope you all understand that. You function as a computer based on what was uploaded to you when you were a small person, and that is on your hard drive, and that's the reason you're in the situation that you're in now. You're not going to get out of it through being a good person, being a wonderful person, having wonderful thoughts, and helping people along the way. God bless you. God bless you. But it's not going to happen. You've got to reprogram the hard drive. You have to reprogram the hard drive. You have to erase all that stuff that you acquired and that was uploaded as when you were a child. I think it's wonderful if you want to help people out when you're in lack. I think it's wonderful if you want to loan somebody or work for less money or whatever the heck you're talking about. But even in the Bible it says, listen, take care of yourself first before you start giving money away to people that you don't have to give away. I could go on with this story forever. I know a guy in lack who travels a fair amount, and whenever, I'm thinking of one particular time in some other state, in some other city, there was a younger homeless kid who was trying to find money for, I forget if it was breakfast or lunchtime, but the guy gave him $20. I remember one time I knew a guy in lack, homeless, that saw a homeless guy walking across the street and said, hey, come here. Gave him $20. Did he have $20? No. To give away? Absolutely not. That was his last $20. So think about what I'm saying, you guys. It's kind of important that it's time you get reprogrammed. It's time that you get accustomed to having abundance. The Bible, the book of Sirach, that's what I was thinking about. The book of Sirach, just go into the book of Sirach and read it over and over and over again until you get it pounded into your head. You are supposed to have abundance and joy. You are not here for pain and suffering. God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. See you. Bye.